James Brown. Watch the James Brown dance, do the James Brown, do the James Brown music. As we take a pause for the call, get ready and listen and get down to the new James Brown hit called Booty Switch from the Booty Sweat of my own Brown. That's right, the hardest working man in showbiz, Mr. James Brown hit. Hey, what I gotta do? Dick Clark from American Bandstand.
Word on the street is you were ready to get on up and do your own thing. So I thought I'd pay my respects.
No, you ain't got to pay me nothing. Your American Bandstand took me from the children's circus and gave me national exposure.
I don't know what the children's circus or vaginal enclosures have to do with anything, but my American Bandstand took you from the Chitlin circuit and gave you national exposure. Now you want to muscle in on my territory? I'm Dick Clark. I run American Bandstand. At one time, I controlled everything. Then came rhythm. Then came blues. Then came soul train. But Don Cornelius isn't reason. He doesn't pay respects. Now my bread and my ratings are down and dropping. So I need to take over black music.
Good God, not black music.
Cher?
I said, please. No, not now, man. Please, Mr. Clark, make me an offer that I can't refuse.
I don't know what you just said, but I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse. You go and tell that Don Cornelius either he stops that soul train, or I'm gonna run it off the tracks. Get it? Run it off the tracks? Because it's a train? A soul train? That wasn't a joke, James. Soul train's days are done. Dick Clark's American Bandstand will take over black music forever!
He's dynamite! So dynamite!
American Bandstand off, or the Godfather of Train, or get on the good fella.
Creamcorn, what is Fred Berry and the Soul Train gang doing in my living room? And why are they dancing where my living room is?
They helped me practice so I can become a Soul Train dancer. I've been wanting to be a Soul Train dancer all my life. Only the best make it on that show.
Soul Train dance? Look, that is not a good idea. Besides, no self-respecting man should be caught dead in an outfit like that.
You think I ain't got no self-respect?
You look like a damn lawn jockey. Now, I got work. Either you tell them scram, split, shake the scene, you turkeys, get out of my house, or I'ma do it.
Man, I see y'all tonight. Give me a sandwich, Rob. Is this really all about me looking like a lawn jockey, Black Dynamite? Because you know I wore work fitting this.
Yes, well, that and the Soul Train clan ain't nothing to with. You have no idea what kind of commitment you make.
Sure I do. That's why I'm practicing.
Don Cornelius and Soul Train is much more than it seems, and believe me, you don't want to end up on the wrong side of the tracks. Get it? Wrong side of the tracks, because it's a train, and...
Yeah, I get it. You just don't get me.
Alright, that's the legendary Gladys Knight McPips here on Dick Clark's American Bandstand. This ain't Soul Train, and I ain't Don Cornelius, because you'd never get this much soul on...
So, Dick Clark, it's a music war you are.
Mr. Donald D, I feel a Dick Clark. Everything was a good show. Hands to me. Yeah, I did.
He thinks he can disrespect me? He thinks that American Bandstand can muscle in on my territory? If you were under my protection, you wouldn't have to worry about anybody taking your show.
But who is your protection?
These are Don's cornholes. And trust me, Dick don't want to my cornhole.
Help me, Don Cornelius. You my only hope.
Are you a friend to me? How many times have you been on my soul train?
Now I got about a dime of Mr. Chicken.
Listen, someday, when that day may come, I will call upon you to do a service for me. I will expect you to deliver.
Anything for you, Don Cornelius.
Kiss the pinky. Take your show to Atlanta. You'll be safe there. I'll handle it.
Anything for you, Don Cornelius.
kiss the pinky. Take your show to Atlanta. You'll be safe there. I'll handle this little Dick Clark and his homunculus hooligans.
I feel good.
Dick won't feel good when I run a train up its a Don Cornelius soul train up his ass. Non-stop express. Get it? That's it, the train. A big black soul train.
BD, even though Cream Corn is dumb as hell, he does have a point.
Not you too, B. You know Cream Corn is way out of line talking to me like he's grown.
Now you got a secret you ain't telling us about Don Cornelius? And the truth will be, and the truth will be the magic wand for healing.
Okay, I can tell you the truth, but I cannot promise you what the truth will tell. I worked for Cornelius when he was small time. Still just running a radio station in Chicago. Had to bust some heads, but I got it.
All right, y'all, exclusive here. We got a new cut for you.
It's just there can only be one #1 radio station.
No, today's like a song.
And now the lady says, whoa.
Got to the point that Talent Act started coming to him for help. But as tough as he was, he always took care of his people.
Free, fried. Chicken for everybody.
Once he owned the radio game, there was only one place left to go.
Here we are at the inaugural broadcast on the new Soul Train, the hippest trip in America.
And with newfound success came newfound enemies.
Great success, y'all. But you know, nobody around here runs music without cutting us in on the action. Capiche?
I understand. You know, gentlemen, you can't stop the train, and I dedicate these 3 records to you.
He grew more and more powerful, and I saw that power corrupts even those with the people's good at heart. All that dancing wonder was out, but Cornelius couldn't stand the thought of anyone leaving. Black Dynamite couldn't stand the thought of anyone telling him what he can and cannot do, so I had to split. You know, if Don had somebody like me to whip my ass, I might not have made it out alive either. After I laid waste to the Soul Train dancing, Don and I went our separate ways.
It's all been a stone gas, Black Dynamite. As always, in parting, I wish you love, peace, and soul!
When you work for the Don, you're a Don worker for life. Even the dancers have to put in work. And by work, I mean killing.
Black Dynamite, we can't let Cream Corn come and kill her. He'll get killed.
Bullhorn, Honeybee, I guess it's time for us to catch a train.
All these stupid bitches.
Hey, Mr. Wonder, it's Donnie and Marie. We're here to take you to American Bandstand because you're blind. That's funny. I wonder if Donnie and Marie started wearing afro sheen.
What? What do you mean Stevie Wonder's no show? American Bandstand will not survive without top knit black acts like that. How far can he go? He's as blind as Ray Charles.
This just came in from Don Cornelius.
No, is it a dead fish? Are they sleeping with the fishes?
No, Donnie and Marie, they're being gang raped by four Negroes.
Oh, no! Okay, wait. I get the sausage, I get the white face.
No need to look any further, because we got what you're looking for right here. Your Wall Soul Train Gang, welcome to Mr. Stevie Wonder.
All these stupid bitches crying on my balls.
Cream Corn, I got to tell you something about Soul Train.
That damn Black Dynamite.
You look like a puppet on a string. Now listen.
What the hell do you have against dancing, huh? None of that bloodshed?
Well, that's one reason. But the main thing is you ain't dancing. The shit you're doing is monkey shining. See? You see how you're smiling when you do that shit?
Yeah, because it's fun.
See? Right there. Dancing should not be fun. Real dancing requires an anger. A real pissed off dignity.
Didn't I tell you I ain't had no dignity? And who dancing when they're mad?
All right, tango, pissed off. Ballet, pissed off. Salsa, pissed off. African, so pissed off they show you how they'll stomp a mud hole in your ass. Now listen.
Well, you can put this in your hat.
Those are your ring fingers, damn it.
Yeah, I know, but it's the closest I can get to flip Black Dynamite off without getting my ass whooped.
Look, Don Cornelius and the Soul Train Dancers are a crime family of monsters.
And you get mad because you can't do this. Black Dynamite is jealous because he can't do this. Get it. Right on.
I want Don Cornelius dead. I want Soul Train dead. I want his family dead. I want his car and his house dead. And I want you to deliver a permanent message. No one with dead.
Hey, don't worry, Mr. Clark. When I attach this bomb to the Soul Train scramble board and the contestants unscramble today's puzzle, kaboom! They'll be scrambled eggplant. Huh? Get it? Because they're black. Kill me.
All right, well, I guess it's time to go. Soul Train Scramble Board Maintenance Incorporated. Soul Train is a sole proprietorship, and the Soul Train Scramble Board Maintenance cannot incorporate even if they wanted to. It'd be a subsidiary at best. Besides, Soul Train Scramble Board Maintenance engineers don't wear alligator shoes. I should have known. The old wire a bomb to the Soul Train Scramble Board trick.
All right, y'all, it's time for the world-famous Soul Train Scramble Board.
Throw your head.
Oh, that's a sexy Asian bitch with the long hair.
All right, you have 30 seconds to correctly unscramble the puzzle. It's the name of a popular group that sounds like turf, tin, and tire.
Come on, Honeybee. You gotta stop Cream Corn from solving that puzzle. There's a bomb that's gonna explode when it's unscrambled.
The temptation. That don't sound like no turf.
All right, now I just gotta defuse this.
What's that?
It's the OJ!
I don't see no O, and I don't see no J.
Or maybe the Barcade!
There's no K. Barry White. Barry White's not a group.
Oh, come on. It's the way to have no fire.
What? Oh!
Green Corn. I see that you did everything in your power to get the scramble board wrong. And you did it all to save the life of the dog.
Yeah. You know me. I'm always down to do something for the dog.
Green Corn, how would you like to be an official Soul Train dancer?
What? Are you serious?
Cream Corn, let's go.
But Black Dynamite.
I think Cream Corn is a grown-ass man that can make his own decisions, Black Dynamite. And the decision I'm telling him to make is to stay here with me.
You don't know what you're getting your little perm head into, Cream Corn. I'm telling you, right now, you're making a bad decision.
Are you ready to become a member of the Soul Train family?
It would be an honor.
It's the dog. Time to do it the hard way.
Mr. Don, what exactly did you mean when you said it's time to do it the hard way? Is that a new dance?
Something like that. You just keep your eye on the disco ball and you'll be just fine.
Honeybee, what I tell you about interrupting my food?
Black Dynamite, how many times I got to tell you? You can't solve all your problems by food.
Yeah, and why not?
Well, I guess you could. But sooner or later, you won't have to do it.
You're right, Honeybee. Now, I ain't gonna tell y'all to spit the scene, but y'all bitches can scram. I guess it's hard to admit that Cream Corn was once just a little half-a-man pimp, and now he's a full-grown half-a-man pimp.
But I wouldn't say full grown. He's like 3/4.
And what the f*** is that?
Hey, see, with all this Cream Corn on my mind, I forgot to tell them not to wake up the rest of the bitches.
Cream corn, you denounce Dick Clark.
I do denounce Dick. What the fuck?
Do you denounce the American Broadcast Company and all of its workers?
I do denounce them, except Charlie's Angels. They kind of smoke.
Do you promise not to snitch for neither money nor a bitch?
Yes, I promise not to be a bitch with a switch who got an itch. Wait a minute, what you say again?
Do you accept your commitment to Soul Train and as a lifetime commitment?
Lifetime, the whole time of my life like that? I do, Godfather.
You must kiss the pinky. Always. Love, peace, and soul. You are now officially a Soul Train dancer.
The boss man wants some FaceTime with you and Dick. But I had established my outfit long before this Marmaluke started muscling in without so much as paying me my bid.
Your business with Soul Train, not rocking the Soul Train. But maybe you're just stupid and your brain is scrambled just like my Soul Train board that you tried to blow up. How about you give a nice, warm Soul Train welcome before my foot in your ass?
So you want to cool in Yanjo, you, Mr. Clark?
You disappoint me, man.
I'm sorry, the fake guy throws me off. Who were you talking to?
Yeah, I can never have any idea who you're looking at any given time.
I called this meeting because there's discord among us. Discord that has cost us a lot of money. DC, when I heard about what you did, I was going to bury your ass in the desert.
Yeah, we're actually both DC.
Yeah, again, you know,
Shut the up, both of you, or I'll tap dance a horror on both your faces. It's time we settle this vendetta in an honorable way. A dance-off. Your best versus his best. Loser is off the air, babe. Good.
Crane, it looks like you're the only cornhole that Dick has backed up. Now, you know you gotta wear your stance on.
Oh, don't you worry, Don. There's no way I'm gonna let you down.
That's good to hear, because if you don't win, I'm gonna kill you. Fred Berry, too.
Here you go, Black Dynamite. One order of ass and trouble. Oh, no.
Thanks, Roscoe. But all the free oxass and troubles in the world couldn't solve my problem. I just wish I could learn how to make cream corn learn.
No, that ain't what learning is, Dynamite. See, we kids, you gotta let them on their own. Take my son Herman, for example.
I didn't know you had a son, Roscoe. I never see it.
Yep, little Herman King. Tried teaching him the family business, but he don't want to combine the food combination. He just wants to eat pizza by himself and call it Godfather. But that boy is definitely a and he ain't going nowhere.
Roscoe, that's it.
It's what?
It's not cream corn's certainly a failure. It's that he's willing to face death for what he believes in, regardless of how stupid his is. And it's about time I faced it with him.
Hey, wait! You ain't even in charge there, Black Dynamite!
Don't you disappoint me, Queen Corn. And where's your partner, Fred?
Black Dynamite! Lord have mercy, I'm glad you're here!
I just wanted you to know you may be half a pimp, but you're a whole man, cream corn. And that I gotta respect.
Thank you, Black Dynamite.
Now you go out there and break up.
My man! You pop my locks! There's no way I can pop lock with my locks pop wrong!
What's happening now?
Oh!
Jesus!
This looks like the job of Dick's muscle.
Clark, you dirty dick. Now we can't get this pop dance off unlocked with the pop locker who can't pop lock. It's a 2 versus 2 contest. Since we don't have another dancer, we're forced to forfeit. Black music is done forever.
What? No fair! James Brown and Danny Terrio, that's the white cat that taught John Travolta how to dance black. It's an unbeatable mix of funk and disco.
This is true, but funk as well as disco both have asses. And if it has an ass, then it can't be be kicked, and Black Dynamite leaves no ass unkicked. Can you dig it? Now somebody get me some long jockey pop locker thread so we can show these suckers how it's done. Come on, King Kong, let's dance.
It's great to have you.
I'm stupid.
Cornelius, I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for cream corn, black music, and all the multiple bitches I pleasure at the same time while listening to it.
The winner is Soul Train.
No more black music for me. I'm sticking with disco. Come on.
We did it, Black Dynamite! We beat Dick!
You sure did, Cream Corn. It's all thanks to me.
Man, you made them fireworks look just like an accident. I may have to use you again one day.
Thank you, my friend. I told you if I should ever need a favor, I'd expect you to deliver, and you deliver. And in case you didn't understand that, well, that's the tip of that. That was the tip of that. We're gonna be saying.
Don, does that mean we even?
Hell no, Negro. Pull up my car.
I'll be there in a minute. Forgot my long jockey hat.
Hit up for Hit up for
We are here today to determine if Congress shall cut funding for the Public Broadcasting System, PBS, currently at $20 million a year. Okay, Rogers, it's your floor.
Senator Pastor, I'm the host of a television program on PBS called...
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, yes, we all are aware.
Could I tell you the words of one of the songs on our program that I feel is very important?
Sure, why not?
It's you I like, because your back is hairy like a bear. It's you I like, not your fat, booty bottom that barely fits the chair. Not your man boobs or your obviously fake hair. I make no judgments about how ugly you are, and tell you I like you just the way you are.
Mr. Rogers, I think...
Wait, Senator. I haven't even gotten to your flaccid little ding-dong and your elephantitis of the nuts. Or would you rather just give me my hush money now?
Looks like you just earned your $20 million. Mr. Rogers, put it here, baby. Congratulations. All of us at PBS knew you could do it.
Oh, I'm just pleased for all of the children we'll be able to care for over the next few years.
Yeah, don't worry, Rogers. Trust me, this $20 million is going to last a long, long time. Because look, guys, this $20 million didn't last long at all.
Really? All I did was buy this opulent mansion, import this coke from Colombia, and throw a few parties with bitches and money bonfires.
Woo, burning money!
And this is the cheapest luxury submarine they had. Can't say the same for the hose, though. Quality hose are expensive.
Hey, what are we going to tell that guy, Mr. Rogers?
Oh, I know. God, that's what.
Hey, quit hugging the titty cocaine.
He's dynamite. So dynamite.
don't you be his neighbor.
Ooh, yeah, girl. That's how I like it. Howdy. Get some milk. Hey, boy, come here. I wasn't doing nothing. Bring your little ass up here. Stop playing with yourself. Nasty.
Man, this antenna been a hemorrhoid in my ass nipple zone, and this raggedy old mother better not be shrinking my with all these microwaves.
Boy, Mr. Rogers is gonna start. We're gonna miss it. You don't know how to fix nothing.
Bitch! I'm adjusting these rabbit ears as best as I'm able, but I don't know why we don't just break down and get some goddamn teeth.
Yeah! Come here, come here.
All fiends don't go no place. Keep your ass sitting tight. Bullhorn will be back faster than you can say Dolomite.
Hey, y'all. I know this is short notice, but I need you to help me to throw a surprise birthday party today.
A surprise party for me? Shit!
For the orphans. We never celebrate their birthdays anyway. Mostly because there's 30 of them and I can't remember all those goddamn dates. Besides, we don't know when half their birthdays are anyway. So today is going to be the day we celebrate all of them.
Okay, look. I think that if you two go out...
Oh, where you at? You said Dolomite like 50 times already.
All fiends, you ain't sitting where I told you to stay. Can't you see we're trying to inconspicuously plan your mother birthday?
Facts! Yeah, we were talking about your birthday facts.
But the facts don't rhyme with...
How's boy go sit your little smart ass there?
Okay, so we gotta get this orphanage ready for a surprise birthday party that these orphans will be surprised by.
And how the hell we gonna do that? You see how those of these little... Ooh, I know. We take the kids to see the Mr. Rogers show. We seem to love that learning.
Fine. Now what presents we get?
Okay, look. I got this cute little mommy dog.
What do you think? If we give that mommy doll to the orphans, all it's gonna do is remind them that they ain't got no mommies, and it'll break their little parentless hearts.
So we gotta find new gifts at full price or on clearance that don't remind them orphans that they ain't got no parents.
Okay, look. I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to come out the closet. It's about damn time.
Dynamite! Dynamite!
So, let's make the most of this government cheese. The show was getting with no Vaseline, but now we got dough. So kids, don't you know, you'll always be You'll always be, you'll always be Look, it's Speedy Delivery Man, Mr. McFeely. What you got for us today, Mr. McFeely?
Hey, Mr. Rogers, today I got you this piano.
A piano? Wow, looks like that Congress money is starting to pay off. Boys and girls, let me show you how I hit the G spot. I mean, note. You just press these keys, and each one makes a different sound.
Now this is an environment I can safely say the orphans will be safe in. Now's our chance to slip out and get their presents. Come on, y'all.
Are you sure you just want to leave the orphans like this?
Look at, when's the last time you seen them this interested in some you were saying? Now if there is a white man you can trust, it's a Mr. Rogers white man.
Oh, wait, this one sounds wrong. A broken piano string. See, neighbors, life is full of problems, but you can fix them yourself by pretending that they're not problems. Let's pretend this broken piano string is a magical gold wand that can make all your problems go away.
Okay, gang, let's not this up, because I don't want to be buying birthday presents for at least another year.
Ooh, here's a cute Goo Goo baby. I love Goo Goo babies.
We can't get them this baby doll, because babies come from mamas, and mamas is exactly what we don't want them thinking of.
All right, surely we can't go wrong. If we get these orphans, this Stretch Armstrong.
I don't want them wrapping stretch arms around each other, because they'll just think of the hug they no longer get from the parents they no longer have.
Okay. Ooh, how about this light up Simon Says memory game?
Honeybee, the last thing we want them orphans to do is remember like their parents.
Okay, here. A totally innocent, non-parental reminded Lionel train set.
I don't want orphans putting the train in the tunnel.
Train in the tunnel? What does that have to do with orphans?
You know, put the train in the tunnel. It's a euphemism. Like the train is the dick, and it goes in the tunnel.
Well, then what's the tunnel?
Okay, what we got left?
There ain't nothing here I can find that ain't going to remind these orphans of parents in a happier time. Except maybe these toy guns, knives, and landmines.
I don't know. Maybe we should get them nothing. 'Cause that's the only thing I can think of that won't remind them of something.
Back in 5, Fred.
Thanks for letting me know that, Abe. You're great with numbers. Oh, hi there, public broadcasting friends. I thought we were going to use some of that money from the government to get some new equipment around here.
Money? What money? Oh, that money is all gone. You see, your show just isn't profitable. Not to worry, though, Freddie, baby. We got a whole stable of product endorsement deals that'll shoot our budget sky high.
You know, I've got to say, I've never been a fan of endorsing.
Hey, kids are gonna beg their parents for sugary bad anyway, so they might as well get it from us. And we've got the shirt that promotes the soda. Double pump.
We call it the Obesity. Get it? Obese T T-shirt. You just have to be there.
We got snack time covered.
Oh my, fellas, that looks like cocaine. I'll call the police.
Are you kidding me? With Coke prices these days, this is pure refined sugar.
A survey we did said 100% of drug addicts used to be kids. You believe that?
And finally, cartoons. Check it out, our new addition to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Bitch, I'm busting at him. Bitch, I'm busting at him.
You just introduced these cartoons. Tell the kids to buy some crap.
Welcome to the neighborhood, bitch.
Enough cash for these 3 separated. Sorry, Fred. We just don't know where the money is. Is my money tie on street?
I told you, they don't care about the kids like we do.
What the hell is he doing? Maybe some cocaine.
You know what you always said you'd do if it came to this? If no one is going to protect the kids from all the bad in the world, it has to be you. You know, friends, I try to teach my children a lesson about overcoming problems with their imagination. But I guess sometimes you just gotta find the thing that's broken and take it out.
Put that down, Fred.
Now see, this can't say birthday. We can't have the orphans thinking about how they was once birthed, because that will remind them of their mama's vagina, which is connected to
What's that, Black Dynamite?
a mama. Better, although now that I think of it, each of those orphans was born on a day. Y'all think Happy might be too close to Pappy?
You know, kids, we all have problems. I want to talk to you right now about a new way to solve your problems.
I've never seen this part before. Why does it look like that?
What do? The mad that you feel when each way you walk is uphill, when the grown-ups are working against you, and all you can do is to kill? Don't run away. Don't admit defeat. Just point your gun up and fire one bomb. All you kids, hop out of your seats and get on the mud charge.
Rondell!
Yep, there you go. Watch that step. Kids too, ladies.
Rondell! Timmy, no! Rondell!
We're moving, boys and girls. Off to the real land of make-believe.
No, Fred! I'm your neighbor! Rondell!
Well, it's time to move, bitch.
Rondell!
Now say bye, kids.
Don't let this put you in the back of that white man's trolley!
Oh, where's Black Dynamite when you need him? Wasn't he just here?
Okay, y'all, now let's get these orphans and have the best birthday ever.
Oh, Timmy.
Damn it, Black
Who's in charge here?
Sarcastically, Mr. Rogers is in charge.
Chief Rodney McGillichorn, Honkies from the ATF. Can't say I'm happy to see you, so I won't. What's the lowdown?
Damn, Mr. Rogers did all this? Makes me question every lesson I ever learned from him. I knew sharing from your heart was a crocket.
Mr. Rogers kidnapped all the kids in the audience at gunpoint and escaped via trolley down this tunnel, which seems to have been built for the sole purpose of kidnapping kids via trolley. So as soon as we get through these rocks, we're gonna use our biggest, hardest unit and penetrate that tunnel.
Oh, I get it. The tunnel's a vagina.
Yeah?
Chief McGillichorn, I respect you as much as I can respect any incompetent cop who always things up. But unless you got some good intel, you never just storm into a situation and start shooting. Unless you're Black Dynamite, that is. And you're not Black Dynamite, I am.
He's just a kiddie show host. What's he gonna do, strangle me with his cardigan?
Oh, well, hello, little trolley. What's that, little trolley? There's a SWAT team coming to take away all the kids. Oh, no, we can't let that happen.
But why they come to get us, Mr. Rogers?
Well, boys and girls, how about I tell you in a song?
They sell you ass and sex, so bitch I'm busting at 'em. But don't give up, so bitch I'm busting at 'em. Bitch I'm busting at 'em. Bitch I'm busting at 'em. They'll get you hooked on smack, heroin and cocaine. Then you'll sell your mama for even such a bitch I'm busting at 'em. Bitch I'm busting at 'em. Violence, guns, and sex, we're gonna snap their necks. The grown-ups wanna flex, we'll put that ass in check. Bow!
Okay, boys, saddle up.
Miguel Horn, I'm going in.
No one can go after him. Those men are all gonna die. Spinning delivery man, Mr. McDaniel? Oh, damn, looks like your ass ain't gonna be delivering no more mail.
Your back is broke, your limbs are twisted. You look like you just got double fisted.
Call him back. It's just what he wants. You don't understand. They're dead men putting.
Are you trying to tell me that 30 cops against one old TV host is a no-win situation for us?
Wait, you don't know? You don't know about the secret of Fred Rogers that no one knows about?
Tell me, dismembered mailman. Flashback. Flashback for me, as I have no past with Mr. Rogers, so I cannot flashback for myself.
Captain Fred Rogers is the baddest mother I ever knew.
I first knew him in 1958, before he turned.
We ain't getting through that. There's gotta be at least 100 commies in there.
Well, hello there, little fella. Are you scared? It's a scary place, isn't it? It's okay to be scared. It's okay to not know what you should do.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to turn out this way. If only there had been positive influence in my neighborhood and that taught me important values of sharing, being friendly, and resolving problems in a constructive manner, this would have been different.
I got an idea. Why don't you just hand me that pineapple? Very slowly. Okay?
No!
Just the beginning.
Beirut, 1960. Cuba, 1961. Sinai, 1967.
Anytime there's kids involved, nobody stands a chance.
Damn it, Black Dynamite! I can't believe I let you convince me to leave my babies by themselves with this crazy psychomaniac!
Okay, now how the hell was I supposed to know that the nicest, friendliest, soft-spokenest in the world would turn out to be a crazy maniac psycho honky?
All right, let's not waste time thinking about how Black Dynamite up and could have potentially cost the orphans their lives. Now, I assure you, my men can handle this fight. Survived? See? I told you they were professionals.
I don't think he wants us to be his neighbor.
God damn, Mr. Rogers did this too? I ain't never saying please or thank you for the rest of my whole life.
Look out! All right, that's it. I'm going in there and getting those orphans back that never belonged to me in the first place.
Not without us honkies from the ATF, you're not.
The ATF honkies are in command now, Black Dynamite. You dig?
Whatever you gotta tell yourself, Chief. But the only thing you'll be digging is more honkies from the ATF's grave.
Listen, Black Dynamite, you just stay behind us, and we'll take care of everything.
You know, for the first time in my life, I'm inclined to do what a cracker cop tells me to.
sucker!
Black Dynamite, I'm not gonna make it. Go on without me.
All right.
Wait, what?
Well, hi there. I sure didn't expect anybody to survive all that. But gosh, surprises make me happy.
I wish I could say the same, Mr. Rogers. And I am impressed by your ability to slaughter with a carpet. But this ain't no pleasantry visit to your make-believe land of murder and death. Some of those kids there belong to my orphanage.
Whatever is a orphanage?
It's like an orphanage, but with a lot more.
Oh, I see. You must be the Black Dynamite some of these kids have been talking about. You raised them around sex, violence, and foul language. What do you think that's going to do to them?
Listen, Rogers, I'm starting to lose my patience with you, so I'm dropping the mister. Now I gotta evict everybody in this neighborhood.
You know, it's easy to take a gun and annihilate your opponent, but it's so much more fun sometimes to just wrap a sweater around a mother...
Mr. Rogers, you ain't the only one that mastered the ancient art of Karate Kung Fu.
Slum any men? Black Dynamite don't take no shit. Oh, that goes the again in his eye. He hit him and he moved. Knocked him down, he got nothing to prove. Black Dynamite. Oh, Mr. Rogers about to get up with the knife. Break his arm. He about to do him wrong. Wrap it around his neck. Look at the kids, they're getting concerned. Oh, Lord.
Kids? Okay, what did Mr. Rogers teach you about dealing with these bitch-ass grown-ups?
Kids, you better not say shit.
Come on, kids, say it!
We can't. Black Dynamite always taught us to shut the up when grown folks is talking.
That's my boy, little orphan Arnold. Now shut the up.
You grown-ups can't be trusted, Black Dynamite. All you're gonna do is smother with ass notes and drugs.
You know, it's funny you bring that up, because that's what I've been thinking about this whole episode. See, I realize I've been doing the same thing all along. I can't hide the fact that these orphans don't have any damn parents, and you can't shelter them from the real world by putting their asses in a make-believe land that's real. You always say you gotta accept people for who they are. Well, you gotta accept the world for who he is, too.
No matter what you say, Black Dynamite, you're a grown-up, and I won't listen to you.
Mr. Rogers, aren't you a grown-up too?
Oh, my bejeebers, you're right. Black Dynamite, you've made today a special day. I have to accept myself for who I
¿Qué? Está.
am. I am a grown-up. I am a grown-up. Thank you, Black Dynamite. Now I know what's wrong with me. I can't be trusted.
Glad I can help, Mr. Rogers. You know, sometimes...
I think I'm just gonna take this sweater and wrap it around my neck and snap my...
Mr. Rogers, no!
Well, I've got to say goodbye for today. But I'll see you again soon, maybe. Bye now. Bow, 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 bow! Bitch, I'm busting at him! I be busting at him! I be busting at him! I be busting at him! Bitch!
All right, little orphans, since I cannot shelter you from your painful, parentless little worlds, I will remind you of your pain every day and thusly make you all a better person. Here you go, little orphan Willis. Your parents were killed in a car crash. So here's the 1966 Coupe de Ville, the same make and model they burned to death in. There you go, little orphan Penny. Your mama was a heroin junkie. So we got your doll with holes in the arms to remind you why you'll never see her again. And little orphan Stevie, we got you a pair of track shoes to remind you of how quick your daddy ran out of your life. Now isn't this the best birthday y'all ever had?
Damn it, Black!
What?
you want. Don't make me get under that hook. Bitch, you piece of metal and steel. I'm gonna beat the brakes off your ass, you motherfucking automobile.
Bullhorn, why the hell you yelling at my car?
I'm trying to fix this sorry sucker, but the bitch's engine quit. Black Dynamite, your car just don't know who the is with. Oh, Black Dynamite, just don't stand there standing by. Your oil tank that sucker punched my ass in the eye. Hey, you done with the wrong one, man. I whip ass of cars, boats, and even airplanes.
Bullhorn, how long do I have to hold this entire engine block of my car in the air? Today is the first day of my...
Black Dynamite, I know you are on staycation, but I've been yelling and screaming at these orphans all day, especially that little badass little orphan Rodney King.
Sorry, David, I'm on staycation. You need to try punching me in the throat.
Punch him in the throat? Me? You know it couldn't hurt them kids. Ow! Little orphan Otto, I'm gonna punch you in the throat.
Honey bee.
Black Dynamite, before you way out of pocket. She pimp slapped a pimp in front of everybody.
I didn't pimp slap you. I home slap you. So don't be bragging about your little lipstick of a pimp ass if you don't know how to use it.
Black Dynamite, you better get these hoes in check, because when my pimp ass is angry...
Ain't no pimp, just a simp. Your game is thirsty. Here, there's a water on it. Now your game is all washed up.
Black Dynamite, you gonna let the teachers go back this way?
Now, cream corn.
The health department shut down my staff. Can you believe that? They say I can't serve hog maws with bad news.
What the f*** are you?
I don't know. Just sounded good with hog maws.
Roscoe, I'm gonna tell you just like I've been trying to tell them. What the? Oh! Damn it, Basehead, I done told you about moving up on Black Dynamite unannounced.
Sorry, Black Dynamite, but I need my money.
What money?
$5 you owe me for the dog you about to buy.
Basehead, I got no time for this. I'm trying to enjoy my staycation.
Damn, Black Dynamite, you drive a hard bargain. Just give me $2. I'll be back to get it later and watch your legs. You in there, heat. Black
All right, all the suckers in the world, listen up. Black Dynamite is on staycation, which means he ain't helping, saving, standing up for, or giving nobody $2. I kicked a whole bunch worth of ass to give my ass-kicking feet a break. So for the rest of the month, y'all are on your own. So everybody, will you please... yeah. Since technically you're an orphan too, I guess you can live with it. Just try to stay out of the way and don't piss on shit, or shit and piss on shit.
As a result of being on staycation, the police are Edwards up.
I hear you boys are smuggling contraband via moose knuckles. We need to make the search, or I'll put all of this in the soil.
Oh, hell. Where's little orphan Rodney King?
Now, wait a minute now. Hey!
Keep the killer horn, Big. How's it going over there?
Itchy, big bro. Black Dynamite's on staycation. The community is in an uproar. I'm loving every minute of it. Little orphan Rodney King was planning on beating your ass for no reason, but now you gave me one.
You can't beat my ass. I'm just an orphan with no parental guidance and not much to look forward to.
Who's gonna stop? Black Dynamite's on staycation.
The police over there beating up little orphan Rodney King for no reason.
That makes Chocolate Giddy very mad.
That makes me feel like burning down my own community, starting with the Korean store.
Black community has suddenly plunged into black lawlessness and a darker shade of chaos. Oh my gosh, is that an orphan?
Oh, no! The police are beating the shit out of all of the badass little orphan Rodney King. Ooh, you got to do something, Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite, yo mama.
No, you are on staycation. I can yell it.
This shit, the black community can burn itself down for all I care. I'm leaving.
And at last, it looks like Black Dynamite has emerged from his retirement to restore order and...
That's right, I threw the in.
I'ma whoop every cop's ass that I see in sight. As soon as I can get me some help.
shit I know. I just got here with you.
Wait a minute. How'd you say that, little dog? You a dog.
The name is Brodo. And man, this is your hallucination. So again, how the should I know?
Well, something tells me we're not in South Central no more, that's for sure.
Oh, no shit, Sherlock. I just need to know where the bitch is at. Because I'm tired of dry humping legs and these bell bottoms are making my balls itch.
Bullhorn! Green corn! Honey bean!
Hey! Black Duck!
James Brown, what the f*** are you doing about hallucination? And why you have wings?
I'm your fairy godfather of soul! Black Dynamite! And just for the record, just because I'm a fairy, don't make me no fairy, you dig?
Okay, Fairy Goodfoot. Now where the f*** am I?
Welcome to the black version of the Wiz.
Wait, but the Wiz is already black.
Yeah, but not this black. This place makes the Wiz look like a Wizard of Oz. And you just killed the wicked bitch of the South Central. Somebody give me a dramatic stand. Ow! Hit me!
We only been here 2 minutes and already somebody's trying to set me up.
Set you up? Man, you just saved the little Rodney Munchkins. Hey, little Rodney Munchkins, tell me how you feel about that hungry bitch there on. Put him in the hot tub. Hey, damn!
Now could you please stop all the goddamn singing and help me find a place to stay, please?
Yes, but first, I must give you these.
What the hell are these for?
These are magical ass-kicking shoes, Black Dynamite, and they now belong to you.
No thank you, Black Dynamite ain't doing no ass-kicking today. And even if I was, my flip-flops would do just fine.
Can your flip-flops do this? But you must never let them fall in the hands of a brother. The wicked bitch of the West Side.
Wait. Her brother's a bitch. Oh, shit.
Oh, yes, the king of all bitches.
You would use them to kick our asses for us and take over the whole black version of the Wiz world, Black Dynamite.
Well, that's not Black Dynamite's business. And I didn't mean to kill that bitch in the first place.
Well, you might not have chosen to kill the bitch, but the bitch chose you.
But I don't need him.
That's right. Now, which one of you killed my sister? Was it you, Black Dynamite?
I ain't saying shit with or without a lawyer. Black Dynamite don't say shit to the pig.
Well, you're gonna give me my sister's magical ass-kicking shoes. They belong to me now.
You see there? I was gonna give them to you till you told Black Dynamite what to do. Now you ain't getting a goddamn thing. So if I was you, I'd scram before I come off my ass-kicking survival.
Just you wait. I will get your ass, Blackie D. And your horny little butt, too. What the?
Sorry, man. I ain't gay nothing, but you the only bitch around here not wearing bell-bottoms, so I just need your leg for about another minute. Damn, man. I was almost there.
Please stay here and protect us from the wicked bitch of the West Side, Black Dynamite.
Sorry, little Rodney Munchkins, but Black Dynamite is on staycation. Now all I want to know is how and where I can find a place to stay and vacation at the same damn time.
Oh, there's only one who can give you that, and that's the great and powerful super badass. Ow, good God.
Okay, who the hell is this great and powerful super badass mother?
Who else but number 32, an inventor of the runaway passage, Mr. Magic Johnson.
Wait, Urban Magic Johnson from the Lakers?
Of course, in the black version of the Wiz, he owns all this shit, and he's super badass. He got a hotel in Wolcott Dance too. He got the land a black purple and shoes. Magic got it all, and he's Magic Man. He got gold, and he's Magic Man. I got the money, just do what you want to do. It's my $5 so drink and everything.
Huh? Hello. No. Yeah.
But where's Magic Johnson and how do I get to where he is?
He owns the Magical City. Not Magic City. That's the big booty girl. That's down the road there. That's maybe down the road there. But I'm talking about a Magical City called Oswald.
Oswald? What the kind of name is that?
It's a combination of Oz and Watts. You know, like Huffington.
Fair enough. Now how do I get to this Oswald?
I'm taking the road less traveled, a.k.a. Malcolm X Boulevard. But I must warn you, it's very dangerous. But I had a dream
That you ease on down Martin Luther King. Ow! All right, that's enough goddamn singing.
Now, when you little Roddy Munchins, please shut the up and let a grown man figure out which road to ease on down. That yellow brick that glitters is not gold. I'm no Malcolm X. We ain't even got no engine.
So you imagine furry godfathers of soul and Rodney Munchie cheese and shit. You can imagine an engine in this bitch? Now that shit is answer. Huh?
I'm gonna kick the shit out of the city of Oswash and the whole black version of the Wizards.
Magic Johnson, give me some. You know how long it's been since I had some lipstick on my lipstick?
Wait a minute. Hold your dick and your lipsticks, bro.
Ah, shit. That's out top. Back up, you old bro. I'm warning you. You gonna get me flapped.
Oh, baby, you gonna be a scared when you scared a whole bro.
Got a lot on my mind. Get up, him, it ain't easy.
Well, last time, ain't no fair. Now sing it.
Oh, man. You whole folks gonna make me sing it again?
See, you gotta get in the bitch's head. And don't chase them, just replace them. You gotta keep these holes in their toes and let them know which way the wind blows. See, you ain't gonna hit them and make them grow. You can just look them in the eyes and make them feel it between their thighs. A flop to a dime a dozen. A dozen dimes still won't make them whole flop. It's about control. And I suggest you close your up before you gotta go change your pants.
Wow! Now that's real pimping. Who are you?
Nah, that ain't pimping. You just gotta have game. Your name's Dynamite. Black Dynamite.
I'm Scarecrow. Damn, Black Dynamite. Where all the you were.
And that horny ass dog over there, brother.
Well, that was still pretty impressive. Playing a game like that, I can spit at all these whole clothes left and right. Yeah, that's right, mama. Give me them clothes so I can smell them in the wind and make all your flops fall. Whatever.
Look, I'm on my way to see the great and powerful Magic Johnson, so he can give me a room at one of his hotels for some relaxation. Why don't you roll? Maybe you can give me some game.
Are you serious? I would love to.
Okay, but I'm telling you now, I seen this shit happen in the Wiz, and I ain't stopping for nobody else.
Cool, I got shotgun. Hey, would y'all mind giving me that?
Oh, here you go, Daddy. I hope I'll stack your money.
Dynamite! Dynamite!
Hey, get your little asses back here. Hey, lady, look, one of your damn kids shot out my tires. What's wrong with you?
Oh,
My name is Tendu. I'm a bottom bitch that lives in a forest black photo shoot with so many badass kids. I don't know what to do.
Look, I tell you what to do with the kids. Whoop they ass.
That's just it. I can't. I just don't have the balls on these little badass kids.
Something tells me you wrote a damn song about it.
This bitch has hit the bottom. These orphans had a shot, but that's against the law. Now if my voice had more face, I could put them in their place. If I only had some balls, I'd put their asses to sunrise, and I wouldn't care who cries. I'd be working that job. I can see in the movies, but oh my God! Picture my drum with big drums, then I will show them all. Sure as what? A proper black dog punch in the gut. That's right there. Cut. I would beat them with the broom, extension cords, ice picks, bam their head against the wall. Have broken necks, but I keep my respect if I had some gold. You got it.
See, I knew it. A motherfucker was supposed to get y'all to shut up real quick. Thank you,
Scarecrow, we back dynamite. And that little dog over there with the afro, that's Frodo. It's Roto. B-R-O-T-O, okay?
Hey, I didn't come here for the sole purpose of making your kids shut the fuck up. We still got a flat.
Oh, I can fix that. Man, it sure would be nice to have a man around here. I mean, sure, they're quiet now, but when you and your balls meet, oh, they gonna be talking again.
Yeah, well, that ain't my problem.
Hey, we're going to see Matthew Johnson. He's a badass motherfucker. Gonna give me some game. Maybe he got an extra set of balls hanging around somewhere.
Really? You think Magic can give me some balls? This is so exciting. I'm gonna get some balls. I'm gonna get some balls.
All right. I guess you can come.
I can't get no large kids in the car, nigga. That's 5 years.
Oh, well, there you go. Those are house arrests.
All right, I would tell you kids to stay put, but it looks like you ain't got a choice. This metal bitch will be back with enough testosterone to beat you little motherfucker for the rest of your lives.
Get on that. Bitch is that. With Tony, the Hawk ain't that big.
I hope we get there real soon. This Flintstone shit is my feet.
Hey, look. Look, Jungle Deep. There's gotta be some more. There's something up in there for me, Black Dynamite. Come on, man. I'm in the heat.
My feet could use a break. All right, make it a quick Frodo. You know we got a great, powerful magic motherfucker to see. Okay, bro, we'll be over here while you work the room.
And how you two lucky bitches doing it now? Look here, if I don't get some in the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna explode.
Now, I know you can ask a bitch for some ass better than me.
Okay. Can I please have some of your wolf vagina before I spontaneously combust inside my dick? Now it's time for the king of the jungle.
It's showtime.
Bitch.
That's right. I lay my anaconda down all I see elephants and whoop by the heat.
Yeah, whatever. I don't want this dick.
All right, bro, don't start no shit.
I'm the baddest penis motherfucker lying around. I make rhino tiptoe and giraffe drag their head over. I ain't lying. I f***ed up 100 motherfuckers and then all they motherfuckers. I f***ed the wildebeest in the night just to stage. I ain't lying. They call me King Ding-a-ling. The baddest motherfucker you ever did see. Bitch! I run the jungle deep. Wherever I lay my down, I lay 100 feet deep. I ain't lying. I'm so cold, I ate the sun and shit out ice deep. I'm a superstar, but too rated armor for your picture. I ain't lying. I drank this morning and pissed out afternoon. Made leap year jump over the moon. Told Christmas Day, get your ass in me, and smack this morning for being late yesterday. I stuck my finger in the ground and turned the whole world around.
Man, stop the bullshit. You can't do none of that shit you talking about.
That's enough, Frodo. Let the lion do his show.
Say what? Man, you better grab your nut.
You got all this whoop going crazy over you. I want to see you do just one of those things. Put your finger in the ground and turn the whole world around. Do it.
See, you can't do shit. You just a lying lion.
Yo, mama, in yo, mama. I'll take all this home, mama. Put the foot on the jungle.
Damn it, Brodo, now I gotta stop that shit. Look here, man. I'm sorry about my dog, Brodo. Yeah.
I didn't mean what I said there, man. I was just trying to get some wolf, man. The girl just feeling all that, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. I should have known it wouldn't last. My mouth was writing checks, but there was no cash in my hand.
Yeah, you do talk a lot of shit, but how many do you know that can rhyme every damn line they say? That's a real talent. Maybe you just need a muzzle sometimes.
Look, if the great and powerful Magic Johnson can give me a set of balls, I'm sure he has a set of muscles.
Wait, you cats are going to see the great and powerful Magic Mother Johnson? Oh, you know I won't.
See. Junk.
Macehead, what are you doing to my fantasy?
Fantasy or not, I want my $2, Black Dynamite.
Bang. Fuck. Congratulations. You guys reset it. Fucking faggot shit is this? What are you doing?
If you don't know principles, you know everything. If you don't know compromise, then it's simply like bullets. Build violence and more easy than well, why wouldn't you want more people to have free stuff? Why wouldn't you want sick people to have free health care? Why wouldn't you want uneducated people to get free quality education? Like a monster out there. But you don't understand principles and you don't make consider. How do you do nothing? No, values do not. It's almost as though you have well, really, going out on politics in order to exercise. If you thought that was not enough, so what is it that women know what's happening? This is particularly good. It's worldwide. And so this is not something for women to speak the word. So this is world as you can do. This is what they say. Women know less about politics than the opposite of politics. The report goes on to despite being diversity after the national women answer fewer questions correctly than men. Big survey funds their knowledge of broadcast driven by general hard news questions are self-related to sport stories. Level of gender equality in the global so the surprise part is more than obviously bigger for the kind most to promote gender equality. So the more women getting paid is what most are getting equality. So the more equality and privileges women get, the less they know about politics. So the gender gap in no way do you can realize are as large or larger than the society. So what's the gap? Women's sports. More than 30% of all women's so if you look at the UK, so the gender gap in no way that you can do it are as large or larger than so what's the matter? Women's sports.
These fucking retards is just doing this fucking shit. Fucking change this fucking thing. God fucking damn it.
over 30% larger. There's a waste of the field in the stores. Only 20% since 18 South Korea has 1 units. Over 30% larger. There's a waste of the field in the stores. Only 20% since 18 South Korea has 100 units. What a whole series of civilization. So if you look at the examples listed, women still more than 30% die. And Korea is there is some research said the frequency with which people watch news and television in the U.S. not only in the U.S. The more people watch TV news, the more people watch TV news women still have more than 30% of our work. And Korea is there is some research saying frequency with which people watch news and television in the U.S. not only in the U.S. The more people watch TV news, the more people watch TV news. If you don't read the research, watching, reading, and listening to news can be wonderful. Age is also a factor in these seems that gas has made me the gender balance is hardly Journalists Kathy Dugan recently raised this issue with the World Broadcast Network. Try to get their voices heard in the newsroom. Okay. This is the session of the voice of the field. I don't have a voice. I don't have a voice. I need a voice. How about instead of wanting your voice to be heard, it's amazing how many people will listen to me. It's amazing how many people listen to me. So it's nice that I don't need my voice to be heard. We like how people can have this with or voice because it's not. Saying I need my voice to be heard just seems to be silly. Or you spend that thing with me for a while. That's my argument for the business. You're denying my voice. It's like, oh no, I'm doing it. Now, of course, when it comes to this, it's back to the IP value. So, it's like we don't know what it is. But this is particularly true. So, we have a right property to apply to it. So, to become a book you need to edit the lines, it's more than here, where women are actually fiction and so on. But with regards to this new line of food, just going to get it all done, I guess if you know what but you see, this this is interesting as well, right? Because what happens is the efficiency among women is high. And it's immediate. It's almost like you can't fight this fundamental difference right away. Uninformed politicians, significant. And they've also delved all this stuff together. So what we now see is called optimal fire. I've got to see the Jackson but it's going to be because they blend in this. And they'll go to them in the center. This is, women are voting, and they're far less important. Now, can anyone say, well, you know, it's really not women voting? Absolutely. It's just easy to know. No one can say, women, we got to vote. And inevitably, though, there is a deficiency of significant. So here's a nice contract with producer. And a lot of it has to do with women being more quality products. It's a huge problem. And a lot of these are biggest. We've got problems, so the room should be this is a way of excusing they're uninformed because they're not
fucking god. Shut up. No. You can beat me.
In the social justice system, words that are offensive are considered especially heinous. In Canada, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious microaggressions are members of an elite squad known as the Special Snowflakes Unit. These are their stories.
Okay, I identify as a half-eaten Go-Gurt tube, so you need to refer to me as that.
What? No, I'm not. I'm not doing it.
What say you for your abuse of children?
Humans aren't Go-Gurt tubes, okay?
Bigot! We've brought a Go-Gurt studies expert to dispel your myths with a long but meaningless word salad.
And actually, it comes down to the fact that the science about causality, about, in essence, biology being able to determine whether or not you're a Go-Gurt tube, requires us to move outside the orange realm. And all we have in this realm is quasi-experimentation. We can't actually do studies where we manipulate the chromosomal and hormonal environment. So since we can't remove bigotry and anti-Go-Gurtism from the production of identity, we can't actually reach conclusions about what indicate the differences between tubes of Go-Gurt and human beings.
Your Honor, we can't believe in this nonsense. You think she's telling the truth? Yeah, just like little Red Riding Hood walking down a path to Grandma's house. But then you get there, and it's not Grandma. It's a wolf with great big teeth so he can eat you. And he gobbles you up. Well, that's how you get Nazi Germany. And I'm not doing it.
We sentence you to re-education.
How?
We took care of that problem before it got out of hand.
I know. If we allow speech like that, we might end up under fascist tyranny.
And you imagine?
I'm gonna start to get agitated soon.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video,
So now I know there's much more to say, but I have some questions from the audience, so I'd like to read those, and I'll try again just to divide up the time and the questions hopefully as fairly as possible. So Professor Peterson, let's start with you. So this question says, you present your issue with Bill C-16 to be that the infringement of freedom of expression regarding gender pronouns is a problem. Do you hold the same stance that other discriminatory language in the Human Rights Code, such as being able to use racist terms with regard to students? And if you believe that one of these things is a violation but not the other one, why? I'm not sure I read that well, but you get that.
Okay, well, so one thing I would like to point out before I answer that is so you'll notice is that I have in fact been denounced, and what I am saying has in fact been discredited. So one thing I'd like to suggest to you, others in the audience, to hear next, so keep it in mind. All right, so with regards to the question, well, first of all, I don't think that these issues are the same. I don't think they're the same at all. I mean, I think if you're thinking about the pronoun thing, because one of the things that put me back on my heels for a while, because the claim was basically, well, something like whether they mean to just play nice and respect people by using the pronouns. And it took me like 3 weeks to unpack that, because who gets questioned about pronoun use? I don't know why the hell I use the pronouns I use. I use them because they're part of the language. I use them because that's what everyone uses. And so then I had to think about, well, why do we in fact use pronouns? We use them in part for the same reason that we use other categories, and that's to simplify the world for functional purposes, roughly speaking. But then I was thinking, well, is the use of he and she a mark of respect? And the answer to that is, well, no, it's not a mark of respect. It can't be a mark of respect. What you call 4 billion people can't be a mark of respect, right? It's a mark of basic categorization. And so then the claim comes up, well, if someone wants you to use a particular pronoun, then you're disrespecting them if you don't. It's like, let's think that through a bit. Well, that assumes that when I'm using he or she for people, in normal parlance, that I'm actually indicating my respect for them. And that's not true. It's like if I don't know you, I classify you generically, and basically I classify you in terms of how you present yourself publicly. I suppose that's your gender expression. And then I nail you with whatever pronoun seems to fit. It has nothing to do with respect. And besides that, you bloody well don't get to demand my respect. Why should you? I mean, it's not like I respect everyone. That's a foolish thing to do. You respect people who are respectable. You make value distinctions between people, and that doesn't mean you illegally discriminate against them. Those aren't the same thing. But I'm all for value judgments. If you don't buy value judgments, then why bother learning anything? Why bother doing anything? Why go from one point in your life to another if the next point isn't better in some manner? So don't tell me that I'm not respecting people when I don't use the gender pronouns. And the other thing is, I don't buy this whole idea that the people who are putting this legislation forward are valid representatives of the trans community. That's what they say they are. We have mechanisms for deciding whether someone's a valid representative of a community, and that generally involves democratic voting. I've received at least 20 letters from transsexual people who are on my side, and by the way, 0 from others, believe it or not, who are perfectly happy with the idea of gendered pronouns. It's just they want to be the other one. Now, you can have a discussion about that, and there's lots of things to be said about it, but the idea that this community that's coming out and demanding these rights is somehow representative of this homogenous oppressed minority, I think is rubbish.
Well, that leads us to our next question. And for this question, I'm going to ask both Professor Cossman and Professor Bryson to comment on it. So one of the objectives of the transgender and queer rights movement is to enter into public conscience in a way. And this person asks, this can only occur through public conversation. Do you worry that it may not be possible to have thoughtful discussion if there's government restriction about this kind of speech? And do you worry that it would skew discussion in one direction or another? So perhaps Professor Cossman first, and then Professor Bryson. So our spent a career being concerned about the way in which thoughtful discussion is often shut down. And I've been concerned about it on the right, I've been concerned about it on the left.
Why can't you use something that actually does damage?
And I think that Professor Peterson has actually...
Where's your beggar's bazooka? You suck. You suck. Play something that does damage. Doesn't suck ass. Maybe beggar's bazooka soldier. There's 27 people here. Are you fucking hilarious? Are you fucking hilarious? Yeah, those are words. Are you fucking serious? There you go.
Formed some of this today, insofar as he just said that he was denounced here today, and that they're going to come for you next. So the thing is about speech is that everybody gets it, and you say something, and you then get criticized. So Professor Peterson hasn't been denounced, so I don't want to. But he has been severely criticized. And that is actually what speech does. That is what speech does. I think that there is an important way to have public discussions around a whole range of issues. I would welcome a discussion on the role...
Yeah, because that does a lot of damage, clearly.
I would welcome a discussion around the role of hate speech and its desirability. About whether the Supreme Court of Canada is right or not right in upholding its constitutionality. But I would like to have that debate with someone who is knowledgeable about the law.
Thank you. And Professor Bryce.
One of the big questions that I had to deal with in considering whether or not to accept the very generous offer invitation of the University of Toronto to come here today would be the impact of this event on trans and gender non-binary people, specifically at the University of Toronto and much more generally. And so, whereas I would say that I recognize practices of peer review, and practices of peer review are not denouncement. Practices of peer review are practices that we utilize to make assessments about knowledge claims. Whereas I would fully appreciate being able to enter into a discussion about gender and gender identity and issues around trans culture as a means of practicing peer review, I think the difficulty that we've had, and we've managed to reproduce this difficulty here today, characterized just now by Dr. Peterson as simplifying the world for functional purposes. Simplifying the world for functional purposes is not what I recognize to be academic practice. This is not how we relate to knowledge. And so I think that there's a concern when we don't subject claims that are being made as knowledge claims by people who carry titles at great Canadian universities, when we don't treat those knowledge claims in the same way that we would in any other field. And when they're knowledge claims made about members of minority groups, embattled, vulnerable, marginalized members of minority groups, then I think that we all need to be very concerned about how it is that we're changing what we think we do in the university, which is supposed to be about the advancement of knowledge and excellence.
Well, it's increasingly accepted in this age that everybody is allowed to define his or her own identity. Gender is not determined by your chromosomes. Race is a social construct, not a matter of genetics. Jadot is simply taking that wisdom to its logical conclusion. Born a white male named Adam Wheeler, Jadot now identifies as a killer. Jadot, thanks for coming on. Oh, thanks for having me, Tucker. So, I'm not here to mock you, but just to ask you sincere questions. Among them, what does your mom think of this?
You know, she did eventually find out, you know, all the stories going on about me and about my group. You know, she's kind of still trying to come to the realization that I'm not exactly joking.
You're not joking that you went from being a white man to a Filipino woman. I mean,
sorry, I'm sorry for.
So what did she say? Did she accept that?
Well, she saw one of the stories that went on about me, and you know, she came in the door, you know, like hysterically laughing, and I didn't know what was going on. I came downstairs, and she's holding a phone with a video that was made about me on YouTube, and she was just, you know, she was just talking, saying this is the best thing ever, and you know, I can reflect on myself in the third person, and I can see why it's silly, and it is silly.
It sounds like she doesn't take it that seriously. So do you take it seriously? I guess the reason I want to talk to you was, I've always wondered if we're telling kids, or if adults are agreeing that you can change your sex, why not change your race? Why would that be not allowed? Why would we consider that impossible? When did that occur to you that you wanted to do that?
Well, in short, you know, the Filipino culture just kind of resonated with me, and you know, again, I can see I can look at myself in the third person, and you know, I understand it's silly, and you know, identity issues are issues. You know, it's a very small part of myself, as well as my transsexuality, but you know, a lot of people like yourself, you know, find it interesting, and I'll talk about it.
Well, I just think it's interesting that things that we thought were immutable and that scientifically remain immutable, like your sex or your race, now we're saying that you can change. I wonder, since you believe you've changed your race, do you think the rest of us spend, or the left particularly, seems to invest so much significance in race? You're this race, each one is very different than the other. That's kind of the whole point of being a progressive now. Do you think they put too much emphasis on race?
I think they do, and I think in some instances they use race as kind of a basis to divide people. And I'm talking about what's it called? I'm talking about intersectionality, where you have two people that are all of a sudden enemies just for simply existing. You know, I don't like that. You know, I wish people would just talk to each other instead of trying to silence each other with you know, draconian systems that they try to implement into laws.
Well, they must be deeply, I mean, I'm surprised I'm saying this, I agree with you completely. They must be deeply offended by you then.
Exactly. You know, I tell a lot of people that, you know, the LGBT community and you know, there are some left communities as well that aren't as tolerant as they may seem. I actually think a lot of the same things you do. I'm just a little bit weird.
Yeah. That's fair to say. I mean, yeah. I mean, your mom agrees. So, you know, I don't think it's news to anyone. So, so like, we give all kinds of rewards based on race, and then we also punish on the basis of it. And you're saying, you're breaking the rules by saying, well, then I'm just going to change mine. I mean, that must drive the people who are making these rules totally crazy.
I suppose so. You know, I don't believe you can actually change your sex, and I don't believe you can actually change your race. You know, you're born as you are. But really, that's why I refer to transgenderism, or however you like to call it, as gender dysphoria. You know, like it is a problem, and even fully transitioned people, I would say, must be unhappy, because if you have to strive so differently from where you began, are you really happy? Are you?
I don't know. I can't answer that question, and I think you should know I don't think you're allowed to believe that. Probably could be a percentage. So good luck. Tell us if you Thank you.
All right.
Keep changing the map so we can't fucking get anything done.
So,
Okay, so about 2 months ago, I made these videos. I did it because I was trying to articulate my concerns. You know, sometimes when you're having a debate or discussion with someone that you love, and you're having a little argument about something, like who's going to do the dishes or something like that, or especially if you haven't been getting along very well with that person, you know how the discussion starts with something specific, and then you start trading all the things that it might be about until you're arguing about, you know, the way that you behaved on your third date, you know, 10 years ago, and the whole underlying unresolved chaos of your relationship emerges through the little portal that was defined by the argument. You know, well, that's what this is about. And when you talk, it doesn't mean you're right, it doesn't mean you're correct, right? It means you're trying to articulate and formulate your thoughts like the boneheaded moron that you are. And you're going to stumble around idiotically, because what the hell do you know? You're full of biases and you're ignorant and you can't speak very well and you're over-emotional. And, you know, you've got just problems that you can hardly even imagine. They're interfering with your ability to state something clear. And so what you do is you do your best to say what you mean, and then you listen to other people tell you why you're a blithering idiot, and hope you can correct yourself to some degree as a consequence of listening to them. You see, that's what free speech is about. It isn't just that people can organize themselves and their societies by thinking. You can't do that because there's only one of you. What you have to do is you have to articulate your thoughts in a public forum so that other people can attack you, and hopefully in a corrective manner. And then you want to, you know, step back a little bit and think, okay, well, you know, I was a little arrogant there, and I was a little over-emotional there, and I didn't get that quite right, and maybe I'm outright biased on that front. And you want to correct what you say, because then you correct how you are, and then you correct how you act in life, and then you correct your society. And to the degree that we limit freedom of expression, we put all of that at risk. And that's partly why I don't believe that freedom of speech is just another value. I think that's preposterous. I think that if you claim that, then you know nothing about Western civilization and history. Because freedom of speech is not just another principle. It's the mechanism by which we keep our psyches and our societies organized. And we have to be unbelievably careful about infringing upon that, because we're infringing upon the process by which we keep chaos and order balanced. A proper citizen is the person who embodies truth in speech and attempts to act it out. And that also includes listening to part of the community.
You don't have to collect any of the money.
And I think at the moment we're embroiled in a war on every single one of those dimensions, and several others that I haven't had time to list. And the evidence that we're in that sort of war is precisely the fact that this has attracted so much attention. I mean, I just sat in my bloody office at home and threw up a couple of amateurish videos, more or less attempting to articulate my feelings about a couple of policies. And it's like all hell broke loose. Why? Well, because that hell is right underneath the surface. So I'm going to read you something that graduate students video of a tall white man in his 30s who asked students at the University how they react to a tall white man identified as a woman, as black, as short, and as 5 years old. Spoiled. Students in the video resist some of the Still, students were not engaging in discussion. I asked them why. One said it was because she was worried to share her opinion, for fear of being singled out and saying something offensive. I asked who else was listening. The whole class put their hands up. No participation. Why? They weren't interested. They were afraid to speak alone. The PC police. I'll start with lawyer one, who's the counsel of the Second Prime Minister, who talked to the authority of the Rights Tribunal for the West Song Human Rights Tribunal is a pain in the court in our community, and it should be abolished as fast as possible. It's one of the many institutions in Canada that pose a threat to your freedom that is almost unimaginable proportions. Here's what this lawyer told me. If I'm taken in front of the Human Rights Tribunal, it will cost me $250,000. I will pay the legal costs for my opponents, and I will lose. He said, go back to your safe and light and shut your mouth. The second lawyer told me, my critique of the Ontario Human Rights Commission is spot on. And absent the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, it has this contradiction of what we described. Much of what I was saying was illegal and has been illegal since 2012. Lawyer 3 told me that if I breached a tribunal order, so imagine I was thinking I was fined and then I was being paid a fine because I stated that I would do. That equals contempt of court, which inevitably means jail until contempt is heard. The social justice tribunals and the SJW's social justice lawyers and staff will have a rogue nature. They can search your house without a warrant. They can use secret hearings. There are no rules of evidence, and the judges are unaccountable. But those are the opinions. Let's look at a real-world case. Let's look at what happened when I made my videos. Let's look at how the university responded, because I can tell you, in the video I said, look, what I'm doing is probably illegal, and worse, my employer is legally responsible for it, because that's built into the code as well. So by the way, if you're an employer, you're responsible for everything that your employees say. And everything that anybody interprets what they said as being, whether it's unintentional or intentional, whether or not a complaint has been made. So just think about that. Anyways, October 3rd, the university said, like all members of the university community, I have an obligation to comply with the law, including the provisions of the Ontario Human Rights Code. Their policy with regards to workplace harassment, which the university required that was engaging in a course of vexatious comment or conduct, where the course of comment or conduct is known or ought reasonably be known to be unwelcome. The university reviewed my videos and they decided that what I said was true. They decided that the video I made was probably illegal and that they were responsible for it. And so in an attempt to distance themselves from me, under counsel from their legal people, and believe me, the university has good legal people, they sent me a warning. And this is what happens if you want to discipline or recalcitrant an employee, essentially so that you don't have to bear any responsibility for their actions. So on October 18th, the university mentioned in another warning letter that if personal pronouns are being used, the refusal to use the personal pronoun that is an expression of the person's gender identity can constitute discrimination. So now, you see what's happened is that I haven't refused to use someone's gender-neutral pronouns. I said that I would refuse. So it's not even the refusal itself that's producing the letters. It's my declared intent to engage in the refusal. And as far as I was concerned, what I was essentially doing was criticizing a piece of legislation that had not yet been passed. But the university's legal department decided that all that was sufficient for them to distance themselves from me and to engage in disciplinary activity. I would say a legal doctrine is something like a virus, and it has a life. That's not what we do. If you let it go into a living system, it propagates and it has effects, and the effects are consequences of philosophy that's embedded in such law. And if you really want to know about this, you could read Alexander Solzhenitsyn's Good Archipelago, because what he does in that book is tell you how the hypothetically humane doctrines that were embedded in Marxism in the 1800s unfolded into Soviet society and demolished it. But I want to tell you a little bit about what the law does, and this is with regards to its interpretation from the policy guidelines. It instantiates social constructionism into our legal system. You have to understand what that means. There's a huge debate about how human identity is upon what grounds human identity is predicated. Now, the radical social constructionists basically say that identity is nothing but a social construction, and that's in keeping with their philosophical doctrines, partly Marxist and partly postmodern. But that isn't, and that was what I was objecting to with regards to Bill C-16, because it insists, you understand this, it makes this legal doctrine that biological sex, gender identity, gender expression, and sexual orientation vary independently.
Hey, heavy doesn't work.
And they don't.
Heavy doesn't work. Pyro does not work. Pyro does not work. You have to play soldier at the Beggar's Bazooka.
And almost everybody who is male and female by biological sex and gender dresses that way, and that's what a gender expression essentially is. And then if you stack those three things on top of each other, they're basically isomorphic. You add sexual orientation to that, and 98% of people are heterosexual. So the idea that those things vary independently is absolutely preposterous.
What you're doing is dumb.
But it's written into the law. And that has
dumb.
terrible consequences. You see, I don't know, for example, now, to what degree any discussion in universities of the biological differences between men and women are legal. And you think, oh, well, that's an exaggeration. It's like, well, I debated Nicholas Knapp, I believe that was his name, a professor at the Toronto Ontario's agenda, and he said right out for everyone to hear that the scientific consensus is that there's no biological differences between men and women. And I've received letters from people who told me that now the social justice activist types are complaining about the fact that biologists assign biological sex to animals because it's only a social construct that we're projecting onto their being. And, we just heard that the chromosomal level of analysis is complex. It's not that complex. What we have is a bimodal distribution with a tiny number of exceptions, and that, by the way, is not a spectrum. And one of the things that builds in, for example, is the claim that identity is only subjectively defined. And that's built right in. It says that your identity is whatever you think it is. Well, let me tell you, as a practicing psychologist, that's absolute rubbish. Your identity, look, when children are 2 years old, that's what they think. They think that their subjective reality is everything, and what you do is you socialize them between the ages of 2 and 4 to adopt an identity that's part of a cultural negotiation. It's like your identity is part of a cultural negotiation. It's partly the game you play, and partly the game that I play with you, and I have to be a voluntary participant in that. And not only is it not subjectively defined, which detaches it entirely, by the way, from the underlying biological and the underlying objective reality, making any claim you want for your subjective identity valid. The other thing it does,
so nobody's going to hit F4.
Obliterates the idea that identity is actually a pragmatic entity, for God's sake. It's like if you're a lawyer or a father or a mother, like an identity that has some solidity to it. Your identity is also a vehicle within which you travel through life, right? It's a set of tools, a set of pragmatic tools that you use to interact with the social and the natural world. It's not only your subjective whim. The idea of gender identity, which is only defined subjectively in the relevant law, has been studied intensively by personality psychologists such as myself. In fact, I've done some of the, I wouldn't say the most fundamental research on it, but we're in the ballpark. Here's a little story. Okay, so the differences between personality between men and women are basically what constitutes gender identity, insofar as it's not merely subjective. And one of the things that's happened is that as the Scandinavian countries have equalized their political and sociological landscape, the differences in identity between men and women have got larger, not smaller. Understand that? That's a refutation of the social constructionist claim. So what happens is that if you flatten out the landscape so that there are very few socioeconomic differences, say, or sociological differences in the treatment between men and women, what happens is the biological difference maximizes. It maximizes. You understand? That means men and women get more different, not more the same. And the thing about women in the audience, bloody hell, you should think about this, because don't you want to pursue the things that you're interested in? And if you pursue the things that you're interested in, because you're interested in different things than men, I'm telling you. And if you look at the interest variation, this has been established technically. If you look at the interest variation, there's almost no overlap between men and women. If you sum up the differences in interest and temperament. Okay.
Professor Peterson, let's start with you. So this question says, you present your issue with Bill C-16 to be that
This is why people use the beggar's bazooka. Very good, that weird Arab dude knows what's up. Uber Canteen. No. Uber Canteen. I'm gonna wait forever, because I don't know what F4 buttons are. It's retards. Just keep fucking around forever.
What you call 4 billion people can't be a mark of respect, right? It's a mark of basic categorization. So then the claim comes up, well, if someone wants you to use a particular pronoun, then you're disrespectful if you don't. Let's make that true. Well, that assumes that when I'm using he or she,
I'm back.
parlance that I'm actually indicating my respect for them. And that's not true. It's like if I don't know you, I classify you generically, and basically I classify you in terms of how you present yourself publicly. I suppose that's your gender expression. And then I nail you with whatever pronoun seems to fit. It has nothing to do with respect. And besides that, you bloody well don't get to demand my respect. Why should you? You know, I mean, it's not like I respect everyone. That's a foolish thing to do. You respect people who are respectable. You know, you make value distinctions between people.
Huh? Battery, we have not. Nothing works. Supreme.
Well, and that doesn't mean you illegally discriminate against them. Those aren't the same thing. But I'm all for value judgments. Don't tell me that I'm not respecting people when I don't use the gender pronouns. And the other thing is, I don't buy this whole idea that the people who are putting this legislation forward are valid representatives of the trans community. That's what they say they are. We have mechanisms for deciding whether someone's a valid representative of the community, and that generally involves democratic voting. I've received at least 20 letters from transsexual people who are on my side, and by the way, 0 from others, believe it or not, who are perfectly happy with the idea of gendered pronouns. It's just they want to be the other one. Now, you can have a discussion about that, and there's lots of things to be said about it, but the idea that this community that's coming out and is demanding these rights is somehow representative of this homogenous oppressed minority, I think is rubbish.
This professor as a clinical psychologist, refusing to acknowledge how damaging it could potentially be to an individual to disadvantage.
It's a very difficult question to even engage with because I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It makes things so simple that you can't discuss them properly. All I do in my clinical practice, and I have about 20,000 hours of experience in my clinical practice, and I've dealt with all sorts of people, far more variation of people than a typical person ever encounters, and I think I've done it at least reasonably accurately. All my discussions with people in my clinical practice are about their identity, given the definition of identity that I brought forth, how they feel about themselves, how they conceptualize themselves as those particular things, how that plays out in their interactions with other people, and what the functional significance of that is. And I'm going to say forthrightly 12 things. One is that I don't believe that any of my clients have had cause to worry about my interpretations of identity, because what I do in my practice is help them discover what that is. I'm seriously not interested in imposing any ideas of identity onto someone, because I can't do that. I don't know what the right vehicle is for you to travel through life. What I can help you do is articulate your concerns. I can ask you questions where I see contradictions in your self-articulation. I can help you make plans for the future. I've helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people, by the way, make plans for the future with the stuff that I do online. And so I'm helping people build a genuine identity. And that's what I do. So that's the answer to that question. And I think I do it well. I mean, in the stuff we've done from a research perspective with the feature authoring program, I offered to people free a week and a half ago to help them catalyze their identities. We've helped 5,000 university students increase their grade point average 20% and decrease their dropout by the same. And the biggest effect has been with men and non-Western ethnic minority students who've accelerated their performance up beyond the range of the normal for the dominant culture. A pure psychological intervention, I might say, not a sociological intervention. So So I'm perfectly willing to stack my record on identity formulation up against anyone. And I should also point out, I think where I'm most vulnerable in this entire debate, and I just expect this will happen, and there's already been noise about it on the Ontario Psychological Association website, I think they'll probably come after my clinical license. So that'd be my guess. So I think they might be straying away from the question now. So thank you.
No,
we're not, because that question involved my clinical practice. I'm not straying a bit. That involved my clinical practice, and there was a reason that the question was posed. So I'm not straying.
Thank you. Why do you feel that someone's personal gender identity and pronouns infringes your free speech? Can one not also argue based on your interpretation that professors can use racial slurs in a classroom and that the inability to do so will violate your freedom of speech?
Well, that's pretty much the same question, I think. I think that we're crossing a dangerous line, and the line is the requirement that's being put upon people by government agencies with the full force of the law behind them to decide what language categories may be used. When I opened this debate, this forum, I tried to explain what this is about, and I couldn't explain everything that it's about many things. But one of the things it's about is ideology and the distinction between the left and the right, let's say. Now, I truly believe that these made-up pronouns, of which there are many, dozens in fact, and there's no consensus on them. I was just going to ask if you could go back to the analogy between the racial and I don't think there's any analogy at all.
Well,
I think the difference between, I'm talking about compelled speech. There's a difference between saying that there's something you can't say and saying that there are things that you have to say. And I regard these made-up pronouns, all of them, as the neologism of a radical PC authoritarianism. You understand that? And I'm not a fan of that sort of person. And the reason I'm not a fan of that sort of person is because I've done my homework. I've read everything I could get my hands on in the development of authoritarian political systems, and I know the literature inside out and backwards. And I am not going to be a mouthpiece for language that I detest. And that's that.
All right, well, up first today we have Stephen with a brand new topic on the show. Stephen wrote in and said, have you examined the world in which you live? Do you believe you are living on a spinning sphere because someone told you, or do you know from personal experience?
Hello, Stephen. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, Stephen?
Well, thanks. I'm well. So, I wonder if you could expand upon this in a non-spherical fashion.
Well, recently, if you've seen it or not, there's a growing group of people who are doing experiments and coming forward and stating that the Earth is a flat and motionless plane.
That's the expansion?
Well, basically.
Okay. And so it's motionless and it's flat. And do they have any idea how thick it is?
That's an interesting question, but no, like the Russians have dug about 8 miles deep, and that's as deep as anyone has ever been.
Right. And where's the center of gravity? And look, I'm as fine with unusual questions as the next guy. I'm just sort of trying to wrap my head around it again in a non-spherical fashion. And where's the center of gravity in this on this flat plane?
Well, on our motionless plane, there is no need for gravity. We have electromagnetism, the attraction between forces attracting one another.
So is it that we are magnetically attracted to the Earth, and we're magnets not, gravity is not part of the equation?
Yeah, it's an electromagnetic universe, not a gravitational universe.
Oh, okay. So now, do we orbit the sun?
No, the sun, stars, and moon orbit us.
Okay, and Mars, of course, orbits us, so it's Earth-centered solar system, and the Earth is like flat. Is it round and flat like a dinner plate?
Yes. It is a circle around the North Pole, surrounded by Antarctica, like a pizza dish.
So Antarctica is like Saturn's rings around the flat thing, right? That's the very edge?
Yeah, Antarctica is the edge of the world.
Right, okay. And so when you fly, when people believe that they're flying around the world, what happens?
You can fly around a circle.
But if they say that they're heading in one direction relative...
Dumb fucking nigger. Give me your name, bot. It's just the worst shit ever. Dig, 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 nigger stone. Dig, 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 dig. Nigger, 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 nigger.
To magnetic north. Yes. If they're continuing to go east, and then they end up back where they started?
Yes, east and west is only relative to magnetic north. Compass is only point north.
Oh, so they're flying not around the world, but in a circle around the North Pole, which is at the center of the flat Earth?
Yes.
Okay. And so this, of course, requires some challenging reorganization of our spatial orientation, which, you know, I'm fine with. I mean, I'm asking people to reimagine society without a state and ethics without a deity and so on. So, again, I am fine. I'm sorry?
I certainly agree with you on all the
Oh, is this a server of people actually trying? And not just griefing? Is it? I've been waiting 2 years for a rescue ranger to drop and it's never came.
anarchist qualities of what you've been talking about for a long time.
Yeah, it may not seem like a ringing endorsement to some of the listeners, but that's as it may be. So, why is there a deity involved in this formulation?
Well, to me, I don't...
Why is this on, like, advanced expert. You need 20,000 hours. Did you just say cuck? Hey, Goat, did you, like, recently survive a car crash? Did you?
I don't really ascribe to any religion in particular, but after finding out what I know now, I have come from being an atheist to believing a higher power.
It would be pretty tough to maintain that the Earth is the center of the universe, everything revolves around the Earth, and for there to be no deity. That would be kind of tough, right? That would be a weird coincidence. You know, of the entire infinity of 100 billion galaxies, they all revolve around the Earth, and the Earth has a distinctive shape relative to the rest of the universe, at least, because, you know, generally matter that is more than a couple of hundred. it looks like it's roping out. Roar is audible again. I've never ever seen this before, ever. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen that before.
Hi, I'm Skip Tubman. I've been chasing supercells and tornadoes since 2003. This is a video version of a presentation I put together for the 2015 DuPage Advanced Severe Storms Seminar and the 2015 Minnesota Severe Storms Conference on anticipating tornadoes using visual cues. As a storm chaser, this is information I found to be most specific to identifying when and where a tornado might form and what the current state of the storm is. Most of the photography you'll see is courtesy my chase partner, Grinley. We'll start with some supercell visualizations and how supercells are presented on radar. Then we'll do some structure identification using the radar as a guide. Next, we'll try to identify what the storm is doing based on its visual appearance. Finally, we'll use some time-lapse video to do a full walkthrough of the life of a supercell with several tornadoes in between. A couple disclaimers here. The information in this presentation is going to be very specific to certain kinds of storms and tornadoes. It's by no means a complete storm spotting guide, and certainly not something on which your safety should depend. If you haven't done so already, attend a Weather Service spotting class. They're usually free and hugely informative. These classes are going to give you the foundation you need for identifying and understanding these storms. Finally, these storms are very, very dangerous. I'm going to stress safety here, but many of the features shown here were shot from dangerous positions. No photo, video, or tornado report is worth compromising your safety. If you're in the path of a tornado or tornado-producing storm, get to a safe shelter, preferably underground or in a reinforced safe room. If you're a mobile spotter, take an escape route that does not cross the tornado's path. I'm going to be focusing on supercells for this presentation because they produce the vast majority of violent tornadoes. Other storms produce tornadoes too, but we often don't have the characteristic structure and visual cues that we do on supercells. This is a schematic drawing of a classic supercell from a 1979 Lemon and Doswell paper. It shows the working processes of a supercell. The tornado forms at the inclusion of the rear flank and forward flank gust fronts. However, for spotters that aren't quite familiar with supercells or haven't seen many in the field, this may seem a bit abstract. So I'm going to be focusing more on real-world examples instead. This illustration shows a visual depiction of many of the parts of a supercell, and you've probably seen this in your spotter training. Unfortunately, you almost never see this presentation in the field. I say almost never because it does happen. Check out this amazing photograph from Chris Gullickson. He's captured the entire supercell storm here with a tornado ongoing underneath. Here are all the parts of the illustration labeled on the photograph. A couple are missing like the shelf cloud, and instead we have a beaver tail in its place. This is by far the exception when spotting storms. In the dozen or so years I have been chasing, I have never seen a scene quite like this. This is the reality of storm spotting. This is a tornado-worn supercell from about the same distance and angle as the previous photograph. There's so much haze and low clouds obstructing our view here that you really can't tell what's going on. You can just barely make out an updraft face here with an anvil stretching overhead. So we need other cues and points of reference to be effective spotters and get our bearings on the storm. Instead of a schematic diagram, I'm going to use some actual radar data as our map for where supercell structure occurs. This is what's called a classic Hook echo. This is the supercell that produced the 2013 Moore EF5. It doesn't get any more textbook than this. We have a huge debris ball at the bottom of that book too. As spotters, you should absolutely have radar data in the field. There's no reason not to have a smartphone anymore either. Get one and get one of these apps if you don't have one already. The two that are most valued by storm chasers are RadarScope and Pickle, spelled PYKL3. RadarScope is especially useful because it offers a high-resolution radar display that incorporates some of the Level 2 data. Pickle also has a host of features that are popular with spotters and chasers. If you're using a laptop or desktop at home, Gibson Ridge GR Level 3 and GR Level 2 are still the standards. Unfortunately, you need both of these programs to get the low and high-res radar. Our radar shows us two major components of the supercell. That's the forward flank downdraft on the top, the large lobe extending to the northeast. The other is the rear flank downdraft. The RFD includes the hook and the tornado. Here's a close-up of the hook. We're going to use just this part of the storm for reference because this is where everything of interest is happening. There's neat stuff like rain, hail, shelf clouds, and ramadas up in the forward flank. But almost everything related to the tornado is happening right down here. Here's the location aerial coverage of our tornado for reference. The tornado is usually, not always, but usually in the southwest corner of the ball at the end of the hook. I should stress that all of the positioning and reference points are just guidelines. Storms do crazy stuff all the time that contradicts this. Let's do some structure identification, basically a trip to the storm spotting zoo. Supercells have all of these parts that have very descriptive labels, which I think are great for describing what they are and what they do. A couple of these you've probably never heard of before, like the horseshoe and ghost train. These are newer terms that storm chasers are kicking around that I think are also really descriptive. One of the first things I'm looking for as a chaser, and one of the most basic parts of the storm, is the updraft base, rain-free base, or just base. Warm, moist inflow winds are feeding into and rising up to the bottom of this flat, mostly rain-free cloud base. That's our updraft base. The updraft winds go up at an angle from there and come back down as a rainy, cold downdraft that fans out along the ground. If you're in the rainy downdraft, your view might look something like this. You're straining to see the base through that rain. Also, if you're in the path of a tornado, your view may look similar to this as well. When our storm first pops, you often see a little green or yellow blip on the radar. At this point, the updraft base is usually skinny and elongated. The shaded orange area here depicts where the updraft base is relative to our radar blip. As your storm becomes more substantial, and if it's growing into a supercell, that updraft base often expands into a more rounded area on the southwest flank of the storm. What about when we have a hook echo with the tornado? The updraft base actually wraps around the hook. The RFD is essentially punching a hole through the updraft base and causing it to bow outwards, making this horseshoe-shaped updraft base. I found this horseshoe to be the most telling structure for getting my bearings on the storm and where the tornado is most likely going to be. Again, this is a rough guideline, but the tornado is usually at the top or north side of the horseshoe. You can see the horseshoe on the radar and in real life. We're looking north at the hook end of a supercell and a violent tornado. This is the Henryville, Indiana EF4 that occurred in March of 2012. There's our horseshoe-shaped updraft base and the tornado right at the top or north end where we'd expect it to be. Here are the basic wind components, just like the previous example, except we've got 2 downdrafts instead of 1. We now know, thanks to research from scientists studying these storms, that almost all of the wind feeding into the tornado is originating from the RFD. The RFD punches through the base here in this hole and feeds and drives the tornado. Our warm, moist inflow heads towards the tornado as well, but actually goes up into the storm's base before it reaches the tornado. The forward plank downdraft off to the northeast feeds the wall cloud and also into the hook or RFD region. Here are the 2 parts that make up the horseshoe. You've got your updraft base and what's known as the RFD clear slot. The clear slot is the donut hole in the bottom of the storm. You'll hear chasers talk a lot about the clear slot. I can't always see it though, depending on my position, but I can often pick out that horseshoe shape, so I focus on that instead. Let's look at a bunch of examples here so you can get a feel for the structure. Looking north at a classic supercell with cone tornado, there's our horseshoe, tornado at the top right where it should be. But what if there is no tornado? If I can see that horseshoe, I've got a great idea of where it's most likely going to be if it does form. Indeed, we had an EF4 wedge form out of that location several minutes later. Much larger horseshoe here, but you can follow the rim of it around and our stovepipe is right at the top. Where's the horseshoe on this storm? This is kind of a trick question. There's actually 2 of them and they're difficult to see. We have a cyclical supercell with 2 tornadoes in progress. The older dying tornado on the left has a faint but visible horseshoe cut behind it. There's a more prominent horseshoe cut to the northeast where the new tornado is developing. Prominent horseshoe in the base of this storm, and I'd expect the tornado to be at the top of here. So why is there a funnel coming out of the bottom end? And the answer is it's an anticyclonic funnel, which may have developed into a weak anticyclonic tornado. What happens is our RFD curls in opposite directions as it fans out under the base, cyclonically on the northern end, where we usually get our tornado, and anticyclonically on the southern end. The anticyclonic circulation is typically smaller and weaker, and tornadoes are much less common here than on the cyclonic end. Spotters need to be watching out for this though. In fact, tornadoes are possible anywhere along this horseshoe-shaped feature, and adjacent parts such as inflow bands and flanking line convection. Spotters are often told to look for a strongly rotating wall cloud when anticipating tornadoes. I love this example because there's no wall cloud on the storm and we have a developing tornado coming right out of the updraft base. There's still a very prominent horseshoe though, and this is why I rely much more on this feature than wall clouds. Use the wall cloud as a landmark if it's there, but the horseshoe is often a better indicator as it's present more often and gives you better bearings on where things are located. Looking west at a high precipitation supercell, there's rain falling where we'd expect the rain-free base to be and where the RFD clear slot would be. Yet we can still trace out that horseshoe shape following the lip of the updraft base here. You can see the north end of the horseshoe curls back into the rain, and the spot where I'd expect the tornado to form is completely obscured. This is what makes spotting and chasing HP supercells so dangerous. That tornado is often completely rain-wrapped. Same storm, looking north now. Follow the lip of that base around to trace out that horseshoe. Again, the north end is completely obstructed by rain in the RFD. But if we have a visual on that horseshoe, we can infer where the tornado is most likely going to be. It doesn't get any more textbook perfect than this. This is the 2013 El Reno Supercell and Tornado extreme wide-angle view showing half the sky. You can see the horseshoe updraft face is almost perfectly symmetrical. We have a 2.6-mile wide tornado in progress on the right and a developing anticyclonic tornado on the left. Here's a less conventional location you might find yourself in as a spotter. We're in the reign of the forward flank looking south. The top of the horseshoe is closest to us from this side, and you can even see there's a nice curl at the end right where we'd expect a tornado. Again, for review, if you can pick out a hook on your radar, you can envision the updraft face wrapping around it like a horseshoe. Here's a visualization of our winds. The RFD on the left is feeding and driving the tornado. The curl's in the opposite direction where our smaller anticyclonic tornado might be. The inflow feeds into the area of lower reflectivity north of the hook in an area we call the notch. And our forward flank downdraft at the top fans out in all directions and also feeds the hook region. Spiraling rain bands under the mesocyclone. What's the nickname for that? The Bear's Cage. That nickname is meant to sound scary, and it should, as this is the most dangerous part of the storm. It contains a tornado if there is one, and anywhere within this region can be impacted by tornadic winds without warning. The streaky bands of rain spiraling underneath the mesocyclone are the Bear's Cage. The tornado is the bear, often hiding in the rain within this region. This is the bear that was hiding in that storm, a photo from a few minutes earlier, a gigantic wedge tornado. You can see the streaky bands of rain marking the Bear's Cage region. Anyone who values their safety should not only avoid entering the Bear's Cage, but also stay out of its path. This entire region should be treated as if it is one large tornado. Here's what that looks like on our radar view. The Bear's Cage encompasses the entire ball at the end of the hook. That ball might be there whether there is a tornado or not, and that ball is often showing the rain falling through the RFD, those streaky bands that spiral around the mesocyclone. The tornado is often, but again not always, in the southwest corner of the cage. Looking southwest at a ground-scraping high-precipitation supercell from within the notch. This greenish circular region under the base is the Bear's Cage. A closer look at what's going on underneath. We've got a cone tornado right here.
Okay. Oh.
There was a problem when Victor, Brindley, and I were watching this storm though. We were getting really intense inflow winds at our location, and we'd expect them to be heading toward the tornado, but they were heading to the left of the tornado. We realized the cone tornado was just a small satellite tornado. There was a much larger 1.5-mile wide EF3 hiding in the rain to the left. These satellites often form on the rim of the Bear's Cage, and there might be something much larger hiding inside, which is why it's so important to treat this whole region as one big tornado, as multiple satellites can form around that lip. The smaller circle here gives a better representation of the size of that satellite compared to the larger EF3. Looking south as I escape east from the Bear's Cage, on an HV supercell, it's often a greenish circular region. As a chaser, I'm always looking for these streaky bands of rain that are moving from left to right under the meso. They're a precursor to tornado genesis, and I'm also taking my escape route to avoid them. There's an EF4 hiding in the rain to the right in this view. Looking west at the Bear's Cage, which fills the frame here in this view. We had a visual on a cone funnel in the distance, but the rain bands marking the edge of the Bear's Cage were careening at high speed from left to right. At this scale, that's what rotation looks like. Left to right motion, not a small twist. We realized that the entire Bear's Cage region here was becoming a tornado. Winding review of the Bear's Cage on the 2013 El Reno storm. The Bear's Cage winds became so intense, the entire 2.6-mile wide region became the tornado. Even this area of seemingly clear air to the left of the funnel was experiencing EF1 winds. This is why it's so absolutely crucial that you keep spacing from the Bear's Cage and have escape routes to take you out of its path. On this storm, I also think of this region more like a shark tank. The rain and winds inside make escape from this region very difficult, and there were several very fast-moving and intense vortices inside. Once you've fallen into this shark tank, it becomes a desperate struggle to get out, and you can very quickly get bitten. The turbulent wake behind the gust front is often called the whale's mouth. It's as if the storm has a giant mouth, and this is the view you see after it's been swallowed. What's happening here is the storm's outflow in the gust front is acting like a little cold front. The warm, moist inflow is being pushed up and over the gust front to form this cloud structure, and the underside often has this turbulent or roiling texture. This is usually game over if you're a chaser trying to find tornadoes. It looks dramatic, but it means the region producing tornadoes is cut off from that warm, moist inflow. When I see this, it usually means a tornado is not imminent. But don't let your guard down. The storm can shed this gust front and reorganize. Before you're swallowed by the whale's mouth, you'll often see a big shelf cloud coming in from the west. You can see it on radar. It often appears as a blue or green line in front of the storms. When you see that line ahead of the storms, you can usually bet there's some sort of roll cloud, shelf cloud, or gust front headed your way, heading toward the whale's mouth here. As a spotter, you're going to see something like this far more often than you will classic supercell structure. These gust fronts on storm complexes are very common. Swallowed by the whale's mouth here, you can often see these knobby or pointy lowerings on the edge of the gust front. This is scud and it's not tornadic. It's what I like to call whale's teeth. Plumes of dirt being kicked off by outflow and gustnadoes are common under this. The whale's teeth are stretched vertically by the updraft like taffy with outflow underneath. This fools many, many spotters. Dozens of tornado reports came in on this storm. They were almost all outflow and gustnadoes along the gust front. I see spotters making this mistake all the time when I'm chasing. You can avoid being duped by getting your bearings on other supercell structure and reading the storm state, which we'll talk about a bit later. First, let's take a look at some beaver tails and other kinds of tail clouds. Here's a really pronounced beaver tail near Lincoln, Nebraska last May. These are features marking inflow into the storm's updraft. They're like conveyor belts of moisture being pulled into the base. And the base of the tail is often an indicator of where the updraft is working and a rough visual cue pointing to where our tornado might form. Here's a scuddy wall cloud, but it's got a nice tail cloud coming off of it, and that's what tells me that this is an inflow-based feature like a wall cloud and not scud or a shelf cloud. These tail clouds are feeding off the rain-cooled air from the forward flank downdraft. This cool, moist air condenses at a lower height, and that's what forms our lowering. Here's a huge wall cloud over the Denver airport. It's got a little nub tail cloud at the end, and again, that's telling me this feature is drawing in inflow. The interaction with the forward flank downdraft is a lot more visible here. I'm using the base of this tail cloud as a focal point for getting my bearings on the storm and a rough guess as to where the storm might be getting ready to produce a tornado. It's not just tail clouds. There are all kinds of bands and inflow features that feed into the storm's updraft at different levels. You've got a band of cumulus in the mid-levels here that's being drawn into this supercell. And that's a real good indication of where that updraft is and that it might be strengthening. Tail clouds can come off the updraft base from any direction, but they're often...
Alright, here's the final class. I'm gonna do sniper again. I don't know if I like that or not.
coming off the top of our horseshoe, in the storm's inflow notch running along and into the forward plane, usually off to the northeast. Here's a term that I'd like to introduce to you guys. This is an important feature from a safety standpoint and not so much for getting your bearings or finding a tornado. There's a focus jet of inflow that feeds in from behind the tornado that's called the rear inflow jet. This is an extremely dangerous part of the storm. Several storm chasers I know have been injured by this or had their vehicles damaged. We've been kicking around a more descriptive name for this to convey what it is and how dangerous it is. This is a training line of gray mist moving along the ground at speeds of 100 miles an hour or more, sometimes just a few feet tall and wide. It's difficult to see, and chasers are often fixated on the funnel when they're run over by this. Because of its motion and appearance, I like to call this the ghost train. You can see the ghost train moving through the trees in the foreground here and crossing the road up ahead. Here's that line of mist spiraling into and feeding a 1.5-mile wide EF4 in northeast Nebraska. The ghost train on this tornado took out a storm chaser's back window. Here's a really pronounced ghost train, or inflow jet, on the 2014 Tupelo, Mississippi EF3. The traffic here is scrambling to get out of the way of the funnel, but the ghost train is going to nail several of these cars, which could blow out the windows or bring the trees down. We're looking east, immediately behind the 2011 Girard, Illinois EF3. The ghost train shows up well on the right. There's flying debris in that jet. In terms of the damage survey, this part of the storm is often considered part of the tornado, even though it extends out from the funnel and debris cloud. Here's where the ghost train is located on our radar scan. It's part of the rear flank downdraft in the hook, and is usually, but not always, located in the area behind or just to the right of the tornado, generally south or west of the tornado. It's possible for these inflow jets to come off the tornado at any angle though. Generally, you can avoid this feature just by staying out of the bear's cage and ahead of the rear flank gust front. Spotters who find themselves close to tornadoes, even if they're not in the path of the tornado, or immediately behind a tornado that is moving away, really need to watch out for this. There's a huge variety of shapes and sizes when it comes to supercells, but if we know what to look for, we can still pick out the visual cues. On this gnarly HP, our wall cloud and tail cloud is much larger and more robust looking than the rain-wrapped horseshoe. I'm using both of those features to gauge the tornado's likely location though. Small tornadoes are possible to the right under that tail feature as well. Visibility is often very difficult under HP supercells, so we want to use all the visual cues that we can to get our bearings. Infer the shape of that horseshoe under the updraft, and use those inflow bands to point the way. Same storm looking more closely under the base as it approaches. Lightning has backlit the structure underneath. There's a classic wall cloud with tail cloud right at the top of where we're trying to pick out that horseshoe. A cone tornado forms in this location about a minute later, visible through the rain only as the lightning illuminates it. Sometimes our visual cues are very subtle or rough looking, but if we're actively looking for them, they become much more apparent. Here's that storm a few minutes later with a developing tornado now. The updraft face, while scuddy and rough around the edges, is showing the characteristic visual cues as we look at the curling north end of that horseshoe and nub tail cloud. We can use these visual cues on all kinds of storms. Here's a big shelf cloud on a line of storms that's producing damaging straight-line winds. Following the contour of the updraft face, we see instead of a horseshoe, it makes a linear line. And that's exactly what this storm is, a linear line, a mode we generally don't associate with significant tornadoes. Looking north at another shelf, these storms often look visually impressive, but without any of the visual cues associated with supercell structure, I'm not anticipating a tornado. Let's take a second look at the shelf cloud I showed earlier. It's actually got a tornado warning, but why? Tornadoes can be associated with lines of storms that are showing predominantly shelf cloud structure, including QLCS and mesovortex tornadoes, and supercells embedded within linear lines. This is part of a QLCS, or quasi-linear convective system, that's showing some low-level rotation and might be capable of producing a tornado. It's harder to pick out, but we do have visual cues on these storms that we can use to anticipate if and where a tornado might occur. It's subtle, but the top end of our horseshoe is visible here, even though the storm is showing mostly shelf cloud structure. Follow the lip of the updraft face around. It bows outward on the north end, and there is a noticeable kink in the line where the base is actually curling inward. This is the top or north end of the horseshoe. The kink in the line is also marking where the storm is drawing in warm, moist air from the surface. That kink is the inflow notch. I'm using the curl and the bowing gust front and the inflow notch kink as my visual cues for where a tornado might develop. It's a very similar pattern to the supercell structure we looked at earlier, but a bit more subtle. This is another great reason why you don't focus too much on shelf clouds or wall clouds, as we can still get a tornado even when looking at mostly shelf cloud. We can see the structure a bit better as the storm approaches and passes to the north. There's clearly a lowered area behind the gust front. That's where the north end of the horseshoe is curling. The kink marking the inflow notch is visible here too, but a little bit harder to make out. Like a tail cloud, it's roughly pointing toward where I expect the tornado to be. These are difficult and dangerous tornadoes to spot because they are often heavily rain-wrapped, like the tornadoes associated with an HP supercell. These features are visible on the radar, such as with this embedded tornadic supercell. QLCS, mesovortex, and embedded supercell tornadoes typically show some sort of hook-like feature, often identifiable as a bowing portion of the line with a curl at the north end and a kink in the line north of there. If you can pick out that hook-like curl and inflow notch kink in the line, you can trace out the top end of that horseshoe and infer where that tornado might be, even if that area is heavily rain-wrapped. What's going on here? Is this a wall cloud or a small updraft base? Where is the horseshoe? The answer is, I don't know. Not every storm is going to present these characteristic visual cues. In fact, most won't, as the vast majority of storms are not supercells. Even some significant tornadoes can present themselves without these characteristic visual cues. For example, example, some of the more violent tornadoes will spin up before the horseshoe has had a chance to form. Spout tornadoes, including both water spouts and land spouts, will present themselves without a horseshoe because they're not being driven by the rear plane downdraft of the mesocyclone. It's okay to not know what's going on. As a spotter, you want to report what you see, not what you think you see. In this case, I would report this feature as a non-rotating lowering. I really don't know much more than that. For safety's sake, you still want to give this feature and this storm the full amount of respect as you would a tornadic supercell. Even though we're not reporting it as such, treat an unknown lowering as if it's the bear's cage or a tornado, by not positioning underneath it and taking an escape route to stay out of its path. I don't know is a great thing because it keeps you safe. I don't know is your cue to get to shelter or take your escape route. Several storm spotters have been killed driving into storms because they didn't know what they were looking at or didn't have situational awareness. Let's take a look at several storm properties that I use to gauge the likelihood of a tornado, including whether our structure is inflow or outflow based, the storm is surface based or elevated, and some warning signs that a tornado is about to form and how strong it might be. This is a basic storm spotting rule of thumb, but it's a great one that I use all the time. And that's how to determine if our storm structure is being influenced by inflow or outflow. The rule of thumb is that the pointy end of our cloud lowering points away from the rain if it's an outflow-driven feature, like this shelfy gust front here. And it points toward the rain if it's an inflow-based feature like this scuddy wall cloud. It's a great rule of thumb because our tornado is usually going to originate from an inflow-based portion of our supercell. Is this a shelf cloud or a wall cloud? The answer is it's both. Our rear flank downdraft usually causes the wall cloud to grow out into a big shelf cloud, or gust front. As this is happening, we wind up with both elements running into each other under the storm's base. The end on the left is being driven by outflow, like a shelf cloud, and the end on the right by inflow, like a wall cloud. And the other answer is that I really don't care if it's a shelf or a wall. What I've got here is a nice horseshoe-shaped